All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part two of the color theory section. Like I said, I've been trying to pick up and doing the lessons again, but again, life has gotten busy. I'm trying to just do what I need to do on my side. And the last lesson, in lesson 11, we talk about shades, tints, and tones. And for this lesson, we're going to start getting into the color wheel, which involves the primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. So let's go ahead and get started, and welcome to Khayos Studios channel. All right. So welcome back, guys. And for this episode, we're going to be using some really basic stuff. We're going to be using, again, it's going to be some paper. Okay, I highly suggest a multimedia paper. It pretty much works the best for this if you have some. We're going to be needing some of our colors, which is going to be, for this time around, it's going to be our yellow, red, and blue in order to get our colors done. If you do have the black and white, just set them to the side for right now. We will not be using them at this time, so just go ahead and set those to the side. You will be needing something to write with, a paintbrush, and a hard edge, a mixer palette. If you don't have it, this is optional. And then some form of a round circle. I used the lid of like a gas station soda, so I kind of kept it for this lesson. And then just kind of like water to kind of change your brushes as you're going through, or kind of clean your brushes as you go through. All right. So today we're going to talk about primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Hopefully I don't run out. So you got primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay, so primary colors would be this. These are your, what is known as your parent colors. If you do tech work, you know, parents, grandparents, children. But for most part, these are your root colors. You cannot go more primitive than this. So you have red, you have blue, then you have yellow. These are your primary tones. Okay, your secondary tones is when you go ahead and you mix blue with yellow, you get green. If you do blue plus red, you get purple. And I know that this is off screen, so if do yellow plus red, you get orange. So from these color tones here, so let's go ahead and show you guys. So blue and red, you get violet or purple. Blue plus yellow, you get the green. Sorry guys, things just keeps flying off. You get the green tone, and again, I know that's like a neon green, and if I were to do the yellow and the red, is going to be an orange tone. So now you have your primary, secondary, and you have your pretty much your second set of colors. But most of these we're going to mix ourselves. This is why I pretty much told you guys to just have the core three, because these we're going to blend these our own. We're not going to use the pre-made colors. We're going to use these. Okay, so these are your secondary tones. And then from there, we're going to move to the tertiary colors. So right here, so you have parent, children, and grandchildren. And then you start getting into the mixes of some of these. So it would be the mix between red and purple is going to be red violet or red purple. Blue plus purple is, let me see, I'll make sure I get it, is blue violet or blue purple. Then you have blue green. Okay. Then you have yellow green. Yellow orange. Orange red. And then the last one that we can see, which is red plus the violet. It's, there's one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be what am I missing here? There should be one more. No, orange red. So there we go. So we have those tones right there. So it should be yellow orange, yellow green, blue green, violet, red violet. Okay, so I pretty much got all of them. I thought I lost track of one of them, but I did not. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of start this out. Let's go ahead and create our color wheel. And again, let me know if this gets confusing, guys. Like I said, I do my best, but my mind is going a million miles an hour. So I'm just going to start with this lid. And I'm going to draw a circle all the way around. Okay, this is just using a basic lid. From here, I am going to go ahead and I am going to divide this in quarters. So I'm going to kind of roughly estimate where the center point is. Okay, so that's the center from that area. And again, this is just me rough estimate. You could do some mathematics here, but I'll be honest, I'm a little too lazy. So technically it should be 2 1/4. So that should be around the center. So I'm just doing the best that I can here. There we go. So you go first down and then first over, and then you divide these sections into 3s. So you do the best that you can, and you divide this equally as best as you can into 3s. So I'm pretty much going to draw myself, I'm going to eyeball it, and I'm going to draw myself a little mark. And make sure that it intersects that center section. And then I'm going to rinse and repeat and do this again on the opposite side. And I'm going to do that in this way as well. It's okay if it doesn't look perfect. That's totally fine. This just kind of gives us a point of reference. Okay, so from here, you want to kind of pick out what is your starting point. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to start with yellow. So this way I don't lose track of it. So this is going to be technically, so 1, 2, 3. So it's just going to be 3 in between. This is going to give me blue. 1, 2, 3. This is going to give me red. And you'll see what I mean. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you don't have a palette, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and use your paper, but only put just a drip of the paint. Just enough just to kind of get the color that you need. So here is going to be a yellow. So this right here, so I'm going to start with my primaries. And again, I'm not going too crazy because again, I'm just kind of just having fun with this. Then I'm going to do red right here. And notice I'm just putting a dab because I grew up extremely poor. Paint was a luxury. So I do my best not to waste any paint. Make sure that that's dry. And then I am going to do red. Yeah, like art supplies were a very valuable commodity in my home. So today, I try not to be wasteful of any art supplies. And if I don't have a need for it, I donate it to someone who will enjoy them. But most of what I do these days are digital media. It seems to be more, at least for me, a little more cost efficient. Okay, so we're going to start with our primary colors. And now we have some blue. And it's going to look like a beach ball. It's totally fine. So we have 3 primaries. Okay, so this right here, we have our root colors, which is the red, blue, and yellow. These are our primary tones. And then from here, we're now going to mix in between. So There's going to be in between on this. So we're going to get yellow and blue. It's going to be green. Red and blue is going to be purple or violet. And then red and yellow is going to be orange. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a mix. So I'm going to clean out my brush. Always start fresh. I'm going to grab a little bit of paint from the yellow. And then I said I'm kind of even mixing it right here. And I'm going to grab a little bit from the red. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to mix it. And that's going to create my orange. And I always suggest folks to start with, anytime you're doing color theory, always go back to the just traditional media, because digital makes it easier. But the problem with digital is that you don't really understand what it's doing. All you see is just these weird blending modes. By physically having to blend the colors, you get to physically see how these things blend together, and it just seems to stick a little bit better. But again, everybody's style of learning is different. I personally value the traditional quite a bit. So yellow, I'm going to put it right here. Yellow plus the blue. Going to make me a green. That's more like an orange green, so let's grab more blue. There we go. That's more of a green right there. You can see the pigmentation of both the blue and the green in this blend. There we go. Just trying to get more of the green in there. Alright, and the last one we need to mix is a purple. Again, this is not rocket science, guys. This lesson's been around since like the dawn of time. This is nothing new. Gonna grab some of that red. I'm gonna grab some of that blue. The blue, you gotta be careful. I've said this before, darker colors tend to be more potent. And that's gonna make me a purple. I'll get a nice purple here. And that creates a nice, beautiful purple or a violet. Okay, so now we have our secondary. So we have 3 primaries, 3 secondaries, and that leaves you with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I knew I was missing one. I just couldn't figure out which one it is, but that is okay. So this is going to give me yellow, green, green, blue, blue, violet, violet, red, red, orange, and orange, yellow. There we go. So this gives me 6. So we have 3 parents, 3 children, and 6 grandchildren. And let's go ahead and mix these up. So I always like to start with the lighter tones. That's just the way that I've always kind of been. So I'm gonna grab this orange. I'm actually gonna grab more of this red right here, and I'm gonna put the yellow in it. So you want an orange that's more yellowish. There we go. So that gives you that nice yellow orange, or orange yellow, whichever you want to call it, don't matter. And I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for you to grasp the concept. That's what's important here. Short and sweet. So you can see right there, there is the nice, yellow, orange to orange. Now we're gonna, unfortunately, we ran out of tone, so let's go ahead and mix ourselves a really nice orange, a little dab of yellow with mostly red, a stronger red base on this. And you get better at mixing these as you go through. Like right now I'm trying to do 1 part yellow, 2 parts red, because it's the in-between. See a nice transition. This is a little too close, so it needs more red. I think it needs more red. There we go. Nice reddish orange. Across the line, sacrilege. There we go. Nice reddish orange. Excellent. You see the nice transition going from the red to the reddish orange. And then now we need to, I'm going to head in the opposite direction. I need some mostly yellow with a drip of blue. Just a little bit. This should give me a yellow green. So the way that my brain breaks this down is whatever the lightest tone is, I'll do 2 parts that, and then I will add whatever the more potent color, because in this case the blue will be the more potent color. Okay, so we have, right now we have yellow green. So now if I go here and I add more blue, start getting more green blue. Even that's just too green, so I need more blue. Boop. There we go. Green blue. And it's different when you hand mix it, when you purchase it. When you purchase it, you have like the exact color you want. But when you mix it, your brain is having to do ratios. So right there, you're starting to see more of the tone. There's a little more blue to it. There should be more blue into it. I'm going to add right here directly on it. Come on, baby. There we go. There we go. It's a little oversaturated, but I just kind of want to show you guys. There we go. Starting to get more of the... There we go. So you got that right there. Is it pretty? Absolutely not. Am I enjoying myself? Yes. The answer is yes, I am enjoying myself quite a bit. Okay, and then now I need red and blue. So I'm going to migrate to the side of the sheet. So blue's potent. It's mostly going to be red. So that gives you that right there. So it's a reddish violet or reddish purple. And then let's go ahead and add more blue to it, because that's a combination between purple and blue. So you tilt the colors towards the blue favor. And that should give you a nice bluish purple. And there's more than one way you could do this. You could do this with squares all the way across, which is fine. But this way, like I said, it forces you to really think about your paint, how much you're adding, how much you're removing, how do I get this tone, how I don't get this tone. So I always suggest folks to just get just a cheap set of paints. Like I said, these, like, I'm not sure now because of inflation, but when I bought these used to be like 97 cents. That tells you how long I've had these. Just make sure you shake them. The Craftsman have been, Craftsmart has been around forever. But they're only a couple bucks each. As long as you get the core set and you are learning, that is more than plenty. And again, you can use, that's, if you have Crayola, that's fine. Crayola should work. If you have, like I said, whatever you have available to you, just kind of take the time and learn this. So most of what I want to show you guys is just the basic color theory. So you have the primary, let's go again. We have primary colors, secondary colors, and we have the tertiary. So the primary color is red, blue, green. So right here you have yellow, excuse me, red, blue, green, no, excuse me, red, blue, yellow. Jesus, my brain. So yellow, blue, and red are your primary. Your secondaries are going to be the green, is going to be, where are you? The purple, and it's going to be the orange. And then you have the tertiary, which are pretty much the mix between the primary and the secondary, which should give you the in-betweens, which is the orange, yellow, yellow, orange, yellow, green, green, blue, 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 violet, violet, red, and then red, orange. Now, while we're here, we also need to talk about the second half of this. So I'm not sure if you guys remember in my last episode, I talked about how you have cool tones and warm tones. So cool tones are what we call temperature. Okay. So cool tones, I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna draw a divider here. This is still kind of wet. So you have temperature. So anything that has more of like warm tones such as yellows, reds, and orange. Okay, so yellow, reds, and orange. These are known as warm or hot colors. Okay, so you want to do something more tropical, more like, sunny, more bright, more energetic. You tend to use more of the warm tones, and you can go online and look for a couple of samples. I'm not going to pull them up because, again, I don't feel like getting hit by copyrights. Normally, I have examples in my classroom, but again, that's in a private classroom setting. But because this is going to be pushed out, I don't want to get hit with a copyright. Then right here, you have what is known as cool colors. So cool colors right here, which is pretty much you have is the blues, the purples, and the greens. So if you see like anything involving like a forest, you see mostly greens and all that fun stuff. So anything involving blues, greens, and violet, these are your cool colors. And then anything going yellow, orange, and red, these are your warm palettes. So when you're creating this, keep that in mind, and also think about this on the temperature. If you're trying to give it a more cooler feel to your, like, something more passive, more something portraying cold or something portraying stillness, most people tend to use a cooler color palette versus when folks are using something with more energy, life, spry, they tend to use more of the warmer or hot color palette. So hopefully, I know this seems kind of like a crash course, but I will highly suggest for you to go online and go ahead and try to look at some examples of, like, how people are using some of these, like, cool tones versus warm tones. That you're going to see also some, it's going to get into color theory, which is going to be our next lesson, where you start seeing an environment where it's mostly green. So here, I'm going to show you here. So you have like a forest, but then you'll see just little hints of brown. And so this is known as more of earth tones, but when you look at it, it's mostly using the complementary colors of reds and greens. So right here, we're going to do this. So right here, you have the forest, you got the forest. There's the forest. The floor is the forest as well. And then you have like a brown tone, and the brown will be like the trees. I know, not the best example because I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. But then you see like there'll be a sky, and then the sky will mostly be bluish. So the image is mostly a cool tone, but there will be hints of like the complementary color. So you can, like I said, you go online, look up examples of, warm, cool examples. This is mostly used a lot on advertisement, especially digital advertisement, where you see them like if they're trying to do like a honey can, it's mostly they're reflecting the company's branding logo, so be mostly green, and then they will have like a little hint of like the little red star. Think of, just look at advertisement and then look at warm and cool tones and how it is used on that. But anyway, guys, so I appreciate you guys enduring my shenanigan presentation here of the color wheel. Hopefully this was not too overwhelming, and it was pretty just kind of simple to follow along. Like I said, I forgot one here. Actually, no, I didn't forget one here. I just wasn't counting straight. See, they're all like right there. I just wasn't counting straight. But again, I always welcome feedback, guys. I know that I just kind of do these on the fly. But as always, guys, I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. And we'll do the next part is going to be the last part, which is going to involve the color harmonies. And like I said, this is just us scraping the surface of color theory. Color theory, this entire textbook's talking about the psychology of color, how it's used on advertisement, how to set up moods with it, especially in cinematography and film. And you see it a lot. Like I love Steven Universe. They tend to use a lot of colors that portray whatever the emotional state of the character is on there. So color theory is not just picking a color. If you understand the message you're trying to portray, color will also, not only along with composition and design, color will also add an extra layer of enrichment to story and flow to your design. But anyway, guys, until next time, I appreciate it. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.